My name is drhaag. I'd like to give a brief testimony about how I got saved. I grew up in Columbus, Ohio, planning on being a millionaire. And when I was 19, working in a shoe factory, I started reading through the Bible. And I noticed as I was reading through the Bible, I said, well, you know, how can a person be happy without knowing the one to whom it all belongs? How's anyone ever going to go to heaven without knowing the one who made heaven? And so at the age of 19, I started reading through the Bible, and I'd read through there, and they have one good king, then they'd have 5 bad ones. Then they'd have one more good one, then they'd have 5 more bad ones. I said, you know, if I was God, I'd just wipe them out. And I got to the New Testament, it said, if you don't accept Christ, it says, he that hath the Son hath life, and he that hath not the Son of God hath not life, but the wrath of God abides on that person. And so at the age of 19, I realized that I was going to a lake of fire because I did not have Jesus Christ, my personal Savior. And I accepted him as my personal Savior. And that was the greatest day of my life. From that day forward, I knew when I go to sleep at night that if my heart stopped, that I would wake up in heaven. And so at the age of 19, I accepted Christ. From that time on, the Lord began to deal with me about going as a missionary. We went to Honduras, had a great ministry there in Honduras. We had started 4 or 5 churches, started a Bible Institute to train nationals. We had a citywide crusade in a very, very, very small town that only had one paved road. And we had 3,000 people each night in this big football stadium. And we just had a wonderful time. From there, we went on to Guatemala. We started in a school and was able to start a church there that's still going on. It has a pastor there named Saul. And then from Guatemala, we went on to Puerto Rico. And in Puerto Rico, we started a church and a Christian day school. The Christian day school there and the church will run about 250, and that work is still going on. And when we were in Puerto Rico, we had a friend, Mike Crane, called, and he said, listen, Brother Hague, I want you to go with us to Russia. I want you to do a chalk drawing in Red Square, Moscow. And so we had a chance to go to Russia. We went in, so we had meetings in the street and the park, and we had large services and a big sports arena. And it was just a wonderful, wonderful time. One of the greatest opportunities was to preach in Red Square, Moscow. And we had over, I guess, 250 people saved. We had 2 different meetings going on right there in Red Square, Moscow. And from there, we went on to Cuba. Coming back from Russia one time, Brother Crane said, you know, Cuba's beginning to open up and you speak Spanish. Let's go down to Cuba. So we went down to Cuba. I've been going in and out of Cuba for the last 8 years. Had over 6,000 Cubans, 10 and 20 at a time, accept Christ their personal Savior. And so it's just been an amazing, amazing time going to all these places. And all because at the age of 19, I said, man, if I died, I wouldn't go to heaven. And that's where I want to go. At the age of 19, I accepted Christ, my personal Savior. And that's what you need to do. You need to examine your life. Where are you going? Where are you going to end up when you get to the end of the road? I don't want to end up here. I don't want to end up in a lake of fire. The Bible says, he that hath the Son hath life, and he that has not the Son of God will not see life. You need to accept Christ as your personal Savior before it's too late. Thank you.